We have received quite a few emails with questions about the coronavirus vaccines. Now, WBZ is the only local station with a doctor on staff to answer those questions for you. Dr. Mallika Marshall joins us right now. Pleasure to see you, as always, doctor. Let's get right into the questions. First one from a viewer who says, I received my first vaccine, the Moderna vaccine, today. The idea that it's using RNA as a messenger is scaring the heck out of me. Is it advisable to forego my second Moderna and take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine once that's approved?
No, I'm so glad that you've gotten your first dose. That's great news. And unfortunately, there is so much misinformation out there about these mRNA vaccines, things that just aren't true. Things like they can alter your DNA. Physically impossible for them to do that. That it can screw up your fertility. Can't do that. Or that it could give you COVID. That's impossible. So given the fact that more than 50 million Americans have now been vaccinated with these mRNA vaccines, and there have been very few reports of serious side effects, we really do believe it's safe. So I want you to go and get your second Moderna dose on schedule and not wait for another vaccine to gain emergency use authorization.
All right, fascinating question. Great answer there. Janice from Leominster writes, if one has little or no side effects from the first vaccine shot, does that indicate that they may have minimum side effects from the second? I keep reading that after effects from the second shot can be severe, and I've heard from quite a few people, doctor, who've not felt so great after that second shot.
Yes, it does happen. I mean, there's some people who don't get any side effects from either dose. But if you are going to get side effects, it tends to happen more commonly after the second dose. But we're talking about things like achiness in the arm where you get the injection, achiness throughout your body, fatigue, headache, rarely fever and chills. But you are more likely to feel worse after that second shot, but rarely are the symptoms severe, and they usually go away within 24 to 36 hours.
All right, let's stick with side effects. Elaine asks, most of the side effects that have been reported have been from those who are younger. Yes, she says, what might be expected for those of us over 65? The same, less, or more?
So it is true that younger people tend to have more side effects from these vaccines than older people, but honestly, people of any age can get some of those side effects that I just mentioned. Younger people do tend to feel them more intensely, but it's possible that if you're older, you could also get the fatigue and headache and achiness, possibly even fever and chills, but again, those side effects go away pretty quickly.
All right, and William writes on Facebook that he heard a report that thousands of people have died from the vaccine. Now he and his wife are afraid to get their second shot.
So I was really troubled when I saw this email because I thought, my goodness, what did he see? And I think it was a headline that came out a few days ago that suggested that more than 1,000 people are reported to have died after having received their vaccine. First of all, that's 0.003% of the total number of people who have received the vaccine so far, but it doesn't mean that the vaccines led to their deaths. These are people that probably would have died from conditions whether they had been vaccinated or not. So there is no reason at this point to suspect any sort of unique safety issue with these two vaccines that are available. So please go and get them.
All right, this was a pretty heavy mailbag today, and Dr. Mallika, you did a great job getting through it. Of course, Dr. Mallika always offers her best advice, but as always, consult your personal doctor before making any decisions about your health. If you have a question for Dr. Mallika, 3 ways to reach her. Her email, drmallika@cbs.com. On Twitter, her handle is @Mallika Marshall, or Facebook message her, Dr. Mallika Marshall. Lisa?